Okay, here we have ourselves a Plat Tracer player that feels like they're struggling, getting flamed on comms. I get it. That can be rough. I think in the lower ranks, they're not too friendly towards flankers, but we'll get you over that. First, though, anyone who's looking for coaching, you can join my Discord. The description is in the below, and you can see my rates there. For anyone else who's just peer educational content, enjoying the stream, please do feel free to like and subscribe if you're liking what you're seeing. And with that, on with the review.
2-1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay, good. You're opening away from your team. Soldier saw you, that's unfortunate. Don't need to waste a blink there. Okay, but now the fight's going on, so now you're looking for you can either break this bubble and start shooting at the Hanzo from here, where the Hanzo would have to turn to look at you, which he doesn't want to do because there's enemies in front of him, or you can spend a blink to immediately get on their backline. Either of those is valid. That's fine. Sigma saw you. There's a Mega right behind you. This should have been a... Okay. Yeah, that's probably not going to work. You don't want to repeat the same angle, and you saw the Hanzo was harmonied, and your team couldn't see him anymore because he was in the cubby. And since he's in the cubby, he's going to be able to turn and shoot at you, and your team couldn't shoot at him. So yes, go after the back line here. It's fine. Back out. You don't need to challenge him. You're not at optimal distance for you, and you've only got one blink left. You don't want this. You don't have enough blinks. Now you do. Now you do. Kill Anna. Okay. No, you can't force it. Now you can go potentially force it. Okay, that was mostly fine. I'm not too worried. You were relieving a fair amount of pressure. You didn't get a lot done on the short flank onto the Hanzo. You got forced out almost immediately both times, but you were putting enough pressure on the others. You recognized when you couldn't take fights, etc. That's the right type of thing you want to be doing. Better blink management would have let you potentially stay in stuff a little longer, but we'll get to it. And as a result of doing that right, as a result of putting that pressure on there, your team was able to win the frontline battle and you got control. No, you want to be ready to go in. This is too obvious. They're going to turn into you. You want to be a little more to your... You had the right idea. You want to be a little more over here-ish, ready to immediately go in once they're transitioning. So if your team decides to take the fight here, you can just unpeak and go in here. If your team decides to take the fight here, you can go in and get the backline here. So you want to be here. You're not going to be meaningful. You still do have fall off damage. You're not going to do meaningful damage here. And as you can see, Hanzo's already checking this angle, going, hey, is there someone there, etc. So this isn't right. You're not looking to do medium range farm. You're looking to get in and, go for people who preferably aren't paying attention to you when you open on them. So you have 3 blanks, so you can go in. That was good. You heard his 5-shot go off, but you didn't use your recall. If you use your recall, you win that. Or am I crazy? Let me think for a second. Clear Discord, clear Discord. Good, you go in perfect. That's perfect timing to go in. Yeah, so you just missed your recall. If you hit your recall, you're able to force that duel and win that fight.
Let's get you back in the fight.
I've got you in my sights. Pass into the iris.
I got my second wind.
This is over, but you can do some point stall. No, that's too far. You don't open on Zen from that far away. The only reason you do that is if you're trying to go, hey, I want to attract their attention, I want to make them look away, but making them look away isn't good enough. This fight, you're too far behind. You need to actually go in and confirm that elimination, which means you needed to blink in closer here and do your work, or creep in closer while they are potentially finishing up over here. This is only good if you're trying to be mildly distracting while your team does more work from the front. You have to get in closer to get your real damage. Remember, Zen does the same amount of damage. He's using a projectile, whether you're over here or over here. But you do a lot more damage if you're over here. And you want to get as much damage as you can on him before he realizes he's under attack and pays attention to you and starts fighting back. And you didn't accomplish any point delay there, so overall not so great.
Ready for duty. My ultimate is charging.
Is your team ready? I don't think your team is fully ready yet. No, you're all the way back there. That's not ready. Okay, now you could potentially go in. You could potentially go, I'm going to push up to right here, and now I'm going to do this, hey, little further range than I'd like, but it's going to work for shooting their Zarya in the side. And the reason I'm okay with you being a little farther than you'd like to be is because it protects you from the Hanzo, the Ana, the Soldier, etc. That's why it would be acceptable in this case. If you were going all the way on their back line, you could come here and you'd go right in on their Soldier and finish him. But you didn't take the time to set up that flank. So this is the flank that's available to you right now, and your team is ready to push now. You could also have potentially gone in and pulse bombed. That would have been potentially worth. But you'd have needed to make sure you forced one of the bubbles first, etc. Preferably personal, exactly. That's okay. You're grabbing his attention from pretty far away. That's what's really hurting you so far on Tracer. A lot of Tracer working is you're this very fast flanker, and how much damage can you get on them before they're really taking the fight with you? And you get most of that happens in the first third to first half of your clip, especially at, levels like Plat, where their reaction times aren't as good. So you want to get as much damage as you can, be as accurate as you possible, have the spread and the fall off punish you the least for that first third, we'll say, of a second, which means if you can get close to them for that first third of a second, if you get, somewhat close, and then you blink, straight at them when they're not looking at you, so from the side or from an angle behind them, and you do as much damage as you can, that's what you're looking to do. You're opening from way too far away, which causes them to use that third of a second to orient and pay attention to you, and you haven't gotten enough damage on them yet to win the fight. Okay, so you were the right distance that time, and that was good. Your aim was just super shaky. So we'll work on that.
Back in the fight.
That's fine. You needed to chase him off and you had Ana pocketing you. Nope. Nope. Okay. Yeah. That's why I was saying nope. You don't want to jump from medium range on top of a character who's already paying attention to you. He's better than you at medium range. Yeah, so there's a little bit of blink management. Obviously, you didn't get value with your pulse bomb, but by far the main thing is you want to start your engages when you're on flanks, when you're on off angles, from closer to them than you are. Tracer's damage is much better than it was at medium short range as opposed to just short range, but short range is still where she shines the best. And if someone isn't aware you're there, you definitely want to start on them at short range. Unless you're just helping your team rotate, putting a little pressure on them, etc. But if you're actually looking to win a duel, looking to get an elimination, you start at short range.
3, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Get you back out there.
Crouch walk. Make some crouches. You can push him. No, he got too much heals. Good. We'll take it. Okay, that's an option. You could have also, so yeah, let me make sure I know which players those are. Okay, so yeah, you were worried that the Anna saw you. You could have potentially gone around the other direction rather than this way, but hey, we'll take it. You're not contributing. The fight is going on hard. Your contribution to not let their soldier have high ground, that was relevant to this fight, but now for the next 4 seconds, you haven't been relevant. And if your team is losing over these next 4 seconds, which hint they are, that's a problem. Okay, I'm okay with those because even though you're shooting from a little further away than I like, you're doing it because you have cover against their backline. If you're shooting their front line from the side in a place that gives you cover against their backline, that I'm good with. If you're on their back line, I want you doing it from a place where you're right on top of them. You don't fight in this direction. You don't. No, you don't frontline against these guys. You go around. You're Tracer. Yeah, flanks. Those are good. You can't push them. They're backing off and your team's not pushing in hard enough. No, and that was from too far away, even if you were going to push. Okay, so I get it. When you do get close like that, your aim is a little shaky. So you're specifically going to have to work on that. I understand now. I can see it now. You've gone close twice and struggled. Your aim gets really shaky, much more so than it is at medium range. So you're going to have to work on that. Like, even though it might feel worse, like, oh, this is harder, I'm not putting out as much damage because I'm missing more shots, etc. I get that, and I get why you might be getting negative feedback and therefore not going deeper in that route, but you do have to go that route. That is how you get value with Tracer against the backline, so you're just going to have to keep doing it to make your aim better, and you're going to have to practice some close range aim, etc. Like that is how you that is a skill that you're going to have to work on. You can do aim drills, you can do stuff like that, or you can just keep diving with Tracer even if you're feeding. It's how you're going to learn. Yeah, you're fighting Tracer at medium range. Or you're fighting Zarya at medium range. She just does as much damage to you at the edge of her beam as she does close to her beam, whereas you do much less at the edge of her beam. Okay, you can potentially go in for a pulse bomb here, but you don't know what the bubble status is. You would never go this way. You can choose to go this way. You can choose to go around here and out here. You can choose to go all the way around this way. Those are all potentially valid things. You're not going to push in the same direction that the core of your team is pushing, though. If you want to do that, if you want to do that and you want to play from medium range, Soldier is your hero, not Tracer. McCree is your hero, not Tracer. Ashe even is your hero, not Tracer.
I could use some healing.
Damn it. You all look like you.
Much obliged. Time back. Ha! Have some of that.
No, you wouldn't do this. This is where they're looking. Now you can potentially go in because they're turning to deal with your Sigma on this angle. Because this angle is now the flank because Sigma's forcing them from a flank. You just have to use blinks to go around right now. Like, you have 2 blinks and recall. You use 2 blinks to go around and do damage to their backline. You don't go here. Yeah, not in the right place.
I got my second wind.
Over here. Come on. Over here. Barrier won't hold together.
Heroes never die.
You don't really want to fight the Harmony Orb Soldier at medium range again.
Merci.
Better. Now, this is fine. That was good. You see that? Like, that was pretty good. Now, he got the bubble, so he was okay, but you see how you did some decent damage before he got that bubble, and you had some better aim to start there, and it took him a moment to notice you were there. If he didn't end up getting that help, if his Zarya wasn't on it, you potentially could have stayed in and taken that fight. Yeah, flank, good. No, too far. You blink in first. Yeah, you can do this if you want. I'd still probably go after that Zen instead. That's better in this situation, but I get it. Get closer. Now you definitely want to get in closer because the pillar will... If you get in closer, you put the pillar between you and her backline, which makes you safer, and you do more damage to her. No, you are way too timid. You can't play from this distance.
Barrier's about to break.
I'm back.
I'm not doing a third round of this because your issue is too big and obvious. You're not playing Tracer at this point. But it looks like it's only 2 rounds, so that works.
Fight for it.
Огонь по готовности.
Get inside. Let them up. I've got you in my sights. I'm feeling unstoppable.
Heroes never die.
Recall. Told you to recall, man. I know. You can't hear me again. Okay. That's got to be the end, right? Right?
Wait for me.
Your Tracer, you can potentially have meaningful stall. I should watch. Okay. So the correct answer is to actually play Tracer, not play Tracer as Soldier 76. So it really is, you got to get in close. You got to get in close. Tracer is a close range hero, not a medium range hero. Yes, Tracer's much better at applying damage from medium range than she used to be since she got that buff. I don't know, maybe it's been a year at this point. Like, Tracer is better at medium range than she originally was, but that didn't change her fundamental playstyle. Her fundamental playstyle is still as a close range finisher. She has the extreme mobility to get in on those flanks quickly and to get in deep. She can get sort of close using those flanks, recover a blink, so she's up to 2 or 3 blinks again, and then blink in, and at close range, doesn't have to be right on top of them, but right on top of them is pretty darn good, and get that damage on a character who's going to take an instant, a moment, whatever, to react from an angle that they weren't looking at. That is how I want you to play Tracer, and that is how I want you to play Tracer pretty much exclusively until you get that down. I can tell that is going to be hard because you are not comfortable with close range aim, and that is totally fine. Close range aim becomes another thing that you're just going to have to be working on, but if you don't start playing Tracer in this more close range style, you're not going to be able to get more success out of Tracer. Like, it is just that simple. So yeah, that's what I've got. If people are enjoying the content, do feel free to like and subscribe. If you're looking for coaching so you can move up the ladder like this Tracer player is going to after they make this fix to actually be playing the hero Tracer, then you can join my Discord and see what my rates are for coaching. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.